think we can start the meeting. Nate, I say the first topic is about the documentation. So,
yes.
How long do you roughly plan to talk about the documentation topic this time?
I think it shouldn't be
You're
too
mute, sorry.
long.
Nate, you're mute.
Oops, okay. Can you hear me? I don't know if I am heard.
Nate, I can't hear you. You're mute yourself.
I can hear you.
No, I think I can hear Nate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. So, hello everyone. I'm hoping that this will take a good chunk of this. Probably I don't know, 15-20 minutes. What do you think, Dave? Is that?
Yeah, probably.
20 minutes, right?
I'll try and keep the presentation brief.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, sure.
Want to leave a little question and answer time too, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. We have only 30 minutes in this meeting, so I need about probably a couple minutes to go through the remaining issue triage. I believe the security assessment may also take a couple minutes. So I suggest finish the issue triage and the security assessment topic first, and then you can talk about the documentation using all the remaining time. Is that okay for you?
Okay.
I think that works for me. Does that work for you, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, let me share the screen. I can go through the issue quickly, probably just a couple minutes effort. Okay, let me share the screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a couple issue I want to go through in this meeting quickly. The first is this one. Okay. Yeah, this issue have already been resolved in the main branch in the 3.6. So the goal is we need to backport the fix. The issue have already been resolved in this PR in the main branch. We need to backport this PR to the 3.5 and 3.4. Previously, I was thinking is gross force issue is simple, but it turned out it's not the gross force issue because the PR, let me take a quick look. Yeah, the PR is simple, but the test case is a little complicated. We can backport the test case to the 3.5, 3.4, but there's some dependence. For example, the dependence doesn't exist in the 3.5 or 3.4. So we need to backport the dependence to the previous stable release as well. But there are two approaches. We can backport all the dependence, for example, with leader to the 3.5. But if need huge efforts, then we can also implement this method in the 3.5 directly. Previously, let me go back to this. Previously, the contributor have tried to backport this to 3.5, but he cannot continue the work. He tried to backport the dependence to the 3.5, but it turned out to be it needs huge effort. It needs big effort. So I added the comments. We can also backport, or we can implement the method in the 3.5 or 3.4 directly. So anyway, I need some contributor to help me to finish this. So yeah, anyway, if anyone interested, please reach out to me offline. Okay, the next one is this test case. This is a test case failure. Yeah, is anyone interested in look at this issue?
I can take a look. I'll put a comment there.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah. Body. Okay, sure. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you. Next one. So I'm not going to go through the details. I'll quickly go through the issue. Yeah. Yeah, this one is related to watch. So anyone interested in look at this issue? Yeah. Yeah, anyway, the first step is to try to reproduce this issue in the local environment, and then to fix the flaky test. So if anyone interested, please add a comment in this issue. Add a comment. Okay, next one. Yeah, this backend. You know, the backend, in LCD, the backend is the one of the most important part of the LCD. So the test kit is also important. So we need to look at all the flaky tests for the backend. Yeah, this is all the output doesn't match the expected output. Yeah, okay, please add a comment if anyone is interested. Discovery. Yeah, discovery is one of the ways to bootstrap the LCD cluster. You know, LCD, when we start bootstrap LCD cluster, we can just provide the configuration for all the LCD members. This is one way. Another way, we can use another class to bootstrap another LCD cluster. This is what the discovery means. Yeah, this is a very old issue. Okay, the last one. Yeah, this is robustness test. Robustness test is a special test suite in the LCD wrapper. Yeah, let's go to a quick look.
If you break your concentration,
Yeah, this is the robustness test suite.
what it is, what's going on.
Yeah, if anyone wants to look at this issue, please confirm with Marek. Confirm with Marek. Yeah, anyway, the goal is to I would like to get the flaky test fixed as much as possible, because we have lots of flaky tests in recently. Yeah, the last one is already.
Yeah, that one is assigned to me. I didn't see your comment when you made it at the end of the year. So I just could you like to reproduce? We were doing like 11 milliseconds, and there is like a 10 millisecond sleep. I just probably need a little bit more hint, or like if you have any more ideas that I could try out what to resolve this issue, because again, I'm trying to like remember, like it was 6 weeks ago. It seemed like to cause the issue, we were doing like 11 millisecond sleep, and there was a timeout of 10 millisecond. So like I just probably need to do a little bit more investigating to see exactly what is causing it.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so there are two ways we can resolve it. The first thing, we need to figure out the root cause. Why is it flaky? Yeah, I think this is the most important part. The second part is you need to sometimes you can, if you try to run the test case one time, probably cannot reproduce this. You can run it 10 times, 20 times, probably can reproduce probably 1 or 2 times. So you can try to run the case multiple times to reproduce this, and then provide a PR to try to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, you know, the maintainer may not have enough bandwidth to make a deep dive into this issue. If you have any thoughts to root cause, you have figured out the root cause, please provide your comprehensive analysis. We can work together to fix this later.
Sounds good.
Anyway,
yeah.
the root cause is the most important. Okay, that's all. So I'm not going to talk on much longer talk about this. So the second one is the security
Do-
means security assessment.
Sorry, I mean, we had planned for like a 15-minute talk, so we're fast running out of time here.
Okay, sure, yeah.
I'm with the big security team if you guys want to cover this.
Yeah, the security, I see you raised the security assessment topic multiple times in the community meeting. So I really appreciate all the effort you have done, but I'm really sorry for the bad experience you have so far. So, probably the community meeting is not the best place to discuss this. So I suggest so what's your suggested way to move this forward? Do you want to raise a dedicated meeting to discuss this?
Yeah, I think that would probably be the best. I think there were 3 people that were interested in doing the assessment.
Okay,
We
sure.
could,
Yeah. Please send an email to the security@lcd.io and we can discuss in the loop.
I'm
Security.
sorry, what?
1 second, let me show you. 1 second.
Can you put that in the chat?
Yeah.
email?
1 second. 1 second. Let me show you. Security. Do you see this? Security.
Oh, I see now. Okay.
Let me send you the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, send it in the chat. Please send the email into the security. Yeah, the email we can discuss. We can raise a meeting to discuss this.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you.
We will do that. All right.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. All right.
Yeah, Nate, you can continue. You can share. You can talk about the topic. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate you hurrying through those. So I'm going to let Dave just launch straight into it. Would you like to share your screen? There we go.
Yeah, share the screen.
I believe you're muted, Dave.
All right, there we go. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. You see the presentation slide?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, yeah, the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, CNCF, has commissioned several analyses of OSS projects, and etcd is one. So I'm going to skip the entire bunch of slides here, the purpose, method, and analysis, and I'm just going to go straight to the results because that's all we have time for. I will put these slides in the document so that everybody can look at them if you're curious, and I'm happy to answer questions if you want to get a hold of me offline too. This is based on work that the CNCF has done before, again, on various open source projects. And on this latest iteration, we are trying to leverage that work into issues that can be taken over by contributors to improve the documentation. Okay, so there are basically 3 areas here that are analyzed. One is the project documentation itself, the technical documentation. The second area is the contributor documentation. So that you're all familiar with, what it takes to contribute. And then the third is the kind of mechanics of the website itself, SEO, and the static site generator, all that kind of stuff. So bottom line, the contributor documentation and the website for etcd look fine. And the project documentation could use some work. I'm going to back up just a second and explain that these results are all measured against a project maturity model. So etcd is a CNCF graduated project. So it has pretty high standards for the code and for the documentation, which should be as high as it is for the rest of the project itself. So this is all based on the premise that this should be professional level documentation. And we're trying to make it more effective so that more people can use etcd effectively and efficiently. So the results that we found on the project documentation, first and foremost, there's some things that are missing and out of date. Kubernetes and Linux install say TBD basically, so those need to be completed. There's a couple other pages that need to be completed, and it wouldn't hurt to do an audit and look at the site and make sure that all the tasks that someone would need to do to use etcd are documented properly on site. And the other big result is I think that the site could be reorganized. And there are some details to that I'll get into in a minute, but you want to organize by user role, and it looks to me like there are basically 2 user roles in etcd. We can discuss this if we have time, but you've got developers and you've got admins or operators, and it should be clear in the documentation who you're talking to.
Yeah, I'm going to actually stop you there because we actually had an entire internship project to reorganize the documentation.
Yeah.
Which basically focused on reorganizing it by role.
Oh, okay.
There's
Yeah.
like a whole set of diagrams around that. It's just that the intern left us halfway through the project, and the
Okay.
reorganization itself never got completed.
Okay, well, I mean, it's clear that you've thought about
Yeah.
this, and there are
Yeah.
a developer guide and an operations guide, which is
Yeah.
great. There are just some suggestions about how to label things. For example, your tutorials are more of a task or more of atomic tasks and should be labeled as such. The learning section is basically a technical overview, which is beautiful. It's exactly what you need, but it's unconventional to label it learning, and people don't. So there are a bunch of suggestions like this. Now, moving on, I wrote an implementation plan and have tried to break that down into bite-sized issues that can be put in the repo and taken on by contributors, which is one of the goals of this project, was to do that. Just we don't want to just write an analysis and then walk away from it and say, like your internship project. So there are a bunch of hopefully actionable bite-sized recommendations that came out of this, and these are just suggestions. This is just one way to do it based on my experience as a tech writer. Also, I've tried to be sensitive to the fact that you're a Kubernetes project and kind of align it with the way that Kubernetes does things a little bit. So they break things down into conceptual, task, and reference information, which is a fairly standard tech writing model. And I've recommended that as well. But what I'll do is I'll put this slideshow and a link to that pull request in the CNCF repo in the doc, and anybody that's interested can go have a look at it. But what I'm hoping to get back is some feedback on the issues and recommendations, and make sure that we're on the right page before I put all of the issues into the etcd repo itself.
Nate, did you share those diagrams with David?
I believe he's got access through the. I talked to David about some of the work that SomoTree had done.
Yeah.
So he was aware, and this is not work that is completely divorced from that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's basically it. Does anybody have any questions or other comments? And I will look at the intern project work again and see how it aligns and what, if we can kind of merge the ideas here.
Yeah, no, there are just some things like for example, we actually split operator into 2 kinds of operators.
Okay.
Operators who are running etcd as part of Kubernetes, and operators who are running etcd for some other reason. Maybe on top of Kubernetes, maybe independent of Kubernetes.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are actually fairly different experiences in terms of operation.
Okay. So then you have to make a decision. Do you want to split the operator guide kind of and discuss those two use cases within that, or do you want to make two different operator guides? That's the sort of thing that
yeah.
I'm talking about in the organization. Yeah, okay, good. And
I've
then,
also linked the PR in the meeting minutes here, so folks can take a look. Sorry to interrupt.
oh, great, no problem. Yeah, so we do have some time here. I don't have. Yeah, there's the user roles. We just talked about that. So you're saying there are a couple different types of operator. That's great. And then kind of at the edges, an evaluator is somebody who's potentially going to adopt etcd. I'm not sure that's terribly important. It is with other projects. With this project, people are probably a little more sure that they're going to use etcd, especially if it's associated with Kubernetes.
Yeah,
But-
although we do have some existing documents that would be associated with an evaluator role.
okay.
So I mean, I think that we might as well keep that role because the documentation already exists.
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff is kind of on the website as opposed to actually in the technical documentation sometimes. So a couple of recommendations in the CNCF rubric are, you want to have a case studies and stuff like that up if possible. That's not really technical documentation, but it does help make decisions. And then at the other end, there's the contributor is a role as well. But again, that has its own section in that analysis, and it's in pretty good shape. I mean, your website is well organized. You guys have these meetings, you have Slack channels, you have all these means of communication. That's a big part of it. Having a new contributor thread that somebody can pick up by going to the website is a big part of it, and you guys have that too. So I'm not as worried about that. Mostly what I found to be concerned about was incomplete documentation and organizing it so that people can find it and use it. Yeah, and then these are just some of the specific recommendations. As I said, the methodology was to do this analysis, kind of write these general implementation ideas, and then try and break them down into issues that can be put up in the repo and that people can take off as contributors. So I would like some feedback on that last step. Are these implementations reasonable? And does this sound like a good list of issues? And this is I was talking about renaming some sections. This is just kind of a high level view of what the table of contents might look like in my opinion. If and like operations guide, developer guide, they're already there. I would just gather all the reference information into a reference section, same as the Kubernetes website does. And then somebody who's looking up an API can say, yeah, probably in reference. Again, a lot of the documentation is good. It's there. It just is needs to be easier to find, I think. Any other questions? We got what, maybe 5 minutes left, it looks like.
You want to go over the next steps here?
Next steps. Well, the next steps are I've got the a documentation containing the issues in the CNCF Tech Docs repo that can be reviewed. The next step is basically to put all those issues into the etcd repo as documentation issues so that people can start working on them. But again, I want to make sure that the community is good with at least the general outline of those issues, and that I'm not going to put a bunch of stuff in there that everybody's going to say, this is, this doesn't make sense. I want everybody to kind of be on board with it. Does that make sense to you? Does anybody have comments or questions about me like opening what I plan to do and what I've done with another project already is opened an umbrella issue that lists all of the issues that I put in there, and then I put in all these, kind of bite-sized issues that I was talking about to do various tasks. And, some of them are it's a lot like, breaking something down for sprints in an agile environment, right? You got to make it,
Yeah.
get stuff digested down into bite-sized tasks. So
Yeah.
that's
But
what the umbrella issue is for.
Yeah, let's also close issues that are duplicative of the new issues,
Yes,
because we
agreed.
have a lot of issues that are left over from our previous documentation overhaul,
Okay, all right, yeah, that's a good
And-
point. Oh,
and we've left them open because these are things that are still problems with the documentation.
mhm.
One of the things that was just the biggest obstacle for us is the major reorganization of the documentation is something that needs to be done sort of all at once,
Yep,
because while you're moving a whole bunch of pages around, that blocks making any other documentation edits.
Yeah.
yep, that is
And sort
definitely
of
something,
everything else has gotten hung up behind that.
right, yeah, that's definitely something I considered, and I have some recommendations for that too, but I'll look at what's there, and I'll
Yeah,
what I've
and-
tried to do is map the reorg onto some operations, like, this needs to be deleted, this needs to be moved, this section needs to be added, stuff like that. So I've got a whole list of those sorts of things. Hopefully that'll help. Yeah, Nate.
The other thing is I've been in contact with some community members who are writers specifically, who are interested in helping out with some of this work once we chunk it up into these types of issues. And for that sort of initial sort of reorg chunk, the CNCF may be able to have some capacity to help in that
Yeah.
phase as well. So we've got I think we've got both CNCF and community capacity to start working on these once we get them in, once we've looked at and agreed that this is the issue set that we want.
If possible, I'd love to create all the new issues before KubeCon Paris, because we're going to have a couple of opportunities at KubeCon Paris to try to
Oh, like a
recruit
sprint, yeah.
contributors.
When
That's
is
a great
that?
idea.
That's
March.
mid-March.
Mid-March, yeah. I think we've got
I
time
think-
to do that. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely,
And Josh, I'm going to call you out and ask you specifically if you wouldn't mind looking at that PR that I've linked there, because we're basing all the we do the work in the CNCF Tech Docs repo, and then we sort of bring it out. But if you've got some time, I would really appreciate your feedback on some of what's
Where did you post the link?
in the it's in the community meeting doc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got like two chats associated with this and the meeting
Yeah,
doc open
fine.
at the same time. I just need to
I
know
can
where
share it
to-
with you directly as well, but I really would appreciate your
okay.
view on this.
Yeah, I still have a pretty clear, remembrance of the previous project. So
Yeah.
okay.
and just make sure there's an include and to close the duplicate issues. So
Yeah. So I think. So thank you all. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you allowing us to jump into your triage meeting and do this. I think it's a related issue. I mean, we're going to be this is triaging issues around the documentation, so I think kind of fits. So I do appreciate you letting us jump in here and talk to you all about this. So, but I think we're out of time and people are going to drop. So
Yeah.
Ben, I'll let you close it out.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking you might be raised separate meeting discuss the documentation. 20 minutes might be not enough for you to discuss all these stuff.
Yeah, we might need to break something out separately. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's important that the community also sees this. I think.
Yeah. Anyway, if you think
it's
it's necessary, you can also raise separate meeting continue to discuss the topic, document topic. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure that one out for next time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're around out of time. Yeah. Now,
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.